Imagine a world where everything you know can change in the blink of an eye, where the ground beneath your feet, so solid and reassuring, suddenly gives way, leaving you suspended in a moment of chaos and uncertainty. This is the essence of the fall, not just a physical descent, but a pivotal, often shattering turning point that redefines a life. We see it in our myths, the fall of Icarus from the sky. We see it in our histories, the fall of empires. But rarely is this concept explored with such staggering beauty and heartbreaking intimacy as in a cinematic masterpiece hidden just beyond the mainstream spotlight, Tarsem Singh's 2006 film, The Fall. This is not a story you simply watch. It is a world you inhabit. It begins not with a grand overture, but with a quiet hum of life in a Los Angeles hospital in the 1920s. Here, two broken souls find each other. One is a little girl with a fractured arm and a boundless imagination. The other is a man with a shattered body and a spirit on the verge of collapse. Their meeting point is a story, a grand, epic tale spun from desperation and innocence, a narrative that will blur the lines between fantasy and reality and ultimately decide the fate of them both. This is the story of how a fall from a horse trestle becomes a fall from grace, and how the power of a shared story might be the only thing that can catch you. Let's enter this world through the eyes of the one who sees it most clearly, a 5-year-old Romanian immigrant named Alexandria. Her arm is in a cast, but her spirit is unbound. For Alexandria, the sterile, sun-bleached hospital is not a prison, but a kingdom of curiosities. The echoing hallways are vast canyons to be explored. The other patients, the amputee with a wooden leg, the kindly nurse, the iceman delivering his blocks, are not just people, they are characters in the quiet drama of her daily life. She communicates in broken English, a linguistic barrier that becomes a creative filter, transforming the world around her into something uniquely her own. Alexandria's perspective is our lens. She collects small treasures, a bottle cap, a fallen button, a photograph of a horse. To an adult, they are trinkets. To her, they are artifacts imbued with magic. She doesn't understand the complex grief and despair of the adults around her, but she feels their emotional currents with an unfiltered empathy. She sees the sadness in the eyes of the man in the bed, the stuntman named Roy Walker, and she is drawn not to his pain, but to the promise of wonder he offers. Her world is one of literal interpretation. When Roy speaks of an Indian, she doesn't picture a Native American, but a man from India, complete with a turban and an elephant, because that is the Indian she knows from her picture books. This innocent misunderstanding is not a mistake. It is the film's magic. Alexandria's mind is the canvas upon which the story is painted. Her curiosity fuels the narrative, her questions shape its direction, and her unwavering belief gives it power. It is through her innocent, hopeful gaze that we are invited to believe in the impossible, reminding us of a time when the world was not defined by its limits, but by its endless possibilities. Now, let us turn to the storyteller, Roy Walker. A Hollywood stuntman, he is a man whose life was defined by motion, by daring leaps and controlled falls. But one miscalculated stunt has left him paralyzed from the waist down, confined to a hospital bed. His body is a cage, and his spirit is poisoned by a deeper wound, the betrayal of a lover who left him for the very movie star he was doubling. Roy has fallen, and he sees no way back up. His plan is simple and grim, to convince little Alexandria to steal a fatal dose of morphine pills from the hospital dispensary. To achieve this, he deploys his only remaining weapon, his imagination. He begins to spin a tale for her, an epic of magnificent scope. It is a story of 5 mythic heroes, a band of vanquishers united by a common enemy. There is the masked black bandit, a figure of romantic vengeance modeled after Roy himself. He is joined by a flamboyant Italian explosives expert named Luigi. A naturalist, Charles Darwin, complete with a faithful monkey sidekick. A powerful ex-slave, Ota Benga, and a mysterious Indian warrior. Their singular goal is to hunt down and destroy the villainous Governor Odious, a tyrant who has wronged each of them. But this is no ordinary fantasy. Roy's story is a living, breathing entity, shaped in real time by the world around them. The characters in his epic wear the faces of people from the hospital. The heroic black bandit is Roy. The evil Governor Odious is the movie star who stole his love. The hulking Ota Benga is the Iceman who delivers ice to the ward. Alexandria's own father becomes the bandit's lost brother. The story becomes a distorted mirror of Roy's reality, a place where he can reclaim his agency and enact the revenge he cannot achieve in the real world. As Roy's despair deepens, his narrative darkens. The vibrant, heroic adventure begins to curdle with bitterness and violence. Beloved characters are killed off with cruel indifference, mirroring his own suicidal thoughts. He uses the story as a tool of manipulation, a lure to get his morphine. Yet he underestimates his audience. Alexandria is not a passive listener. She invests her whole heart in the tale. She weeps for the fallen heroes and pleads for their survival. She becomes a collaborator, a co-author who refuses to let the story die. Their relationship becomes a battle of wills fought on the landscape of imagination, a broken man's desire for oblivion against a little girl's desperate need for hope. The visual splendor of The Fall is legendary, but the story of its creation is just as epic. Here are 5 fascinating facts that reveal the incredible dedication and artistry behind this unique film. First, a truly global production. Director Tarsem Singh spent over 4 years shooting the film in more than 20 countries, including India, South Africa, Italy, and Argentina. This was not a matter of convenience. It was a core artistic choice. He wanted to capture real, breathtaking locations to serve as the backdrop for Roy's fantasy, giving the story a tangible, almost unbelievable beauty. The film's budget was stretched across years of patient, globe-trotting production. Second, the power of a real location. Nearly everything you see in the film's fantasy sequences is real. The labyrinthine blue city is Jodhpur, India. The impossibly perfect geometric staircase is the Chand Baori stepwell in Rajasthan. The surreal dead trees in a vast desert are located in Namibia. By rejecting green screens and computer-generated worlds in favor of the planet's most stunning natural and man-made wonders, Singh created a fantasy that feels grounded, ancient, and utterly awe-inspiring. Third, the director's personal quest. Tarsem Singh largely self-funded the film, pouring his own money earned from directing commercials into his passion project. This gave him complete creative control, allowing him to realize his singular vision without studio interference. The Fall is a rare example of a truly independent epic, a testament to one filmmaker's unwavering commitment to his art over the course of nearly a decade of development and shooting. Fourth, the authenticity of childhood. The performance of the young actress Catinca Untaru, who played Alexandria, is remarkably genuine and for a specific reason. For much of the filming, she was led to believe that actor Lee Pace, who played Roy, was actually a paraplegic. Their scenes together in the hospital bed were largely improvised, capturing a real, unscripted bond forming between them. Her surprise, her empathy, and her frustration were often her own real reactions, blurring the line between acting and reality. Fifth, the art of costume. The film's otherworldly costumes were designed by the legendary Eiko Ishioka, who won an Academy Award for her work on Bram Stoker's Dracula. Each costume is a piece of art, blending cultural influences from across the globe to create something entirely new. From Governor Odious's muscular, feather-caped ensemble to the mystic's tree-like gown, the costumes are not just clothing. They are extensions of the characters' souls, adding another layer of visual poetry to this cinematic fable.
At its heart, The Fall is a profound meditation on the very nature of storytelling. It demonstrates that stories are not mere escapism, they are essential tools for survival, connection, and transformation. For Roy, storytelling begins as a cynical act of manipulation. He weaves a world to control a child, to bend her to his will, and lead him to his own destruction. His narrative is a reflection of his broken self, filled with rage, self-pity, and a longing for an end to pain. However, the story he creates takes on a life of its own, primarily because of his audience of one. Alexandria doesn't just listen, she participates. She believes in the Black Bandits so fiercely that she forces Roy to believe in him too. When Roy tries to kill off his hero in a fit of despair, Alexandria's heartbroken cries pull him back from the brink. She refuses to accept his nihilism. Her innocence becomes a powerful force for redemption, demanding a better ending, not just for the characters, but for the storyteller himself. The film beautifully illustrates how a story is a shared space between the teller and the listener. Roy provides the architecture of the fantasy, but Alexandria furnishes it with her own unique imagination and unwavering hope. It becomes their story, a collaborative creation that ultimately saves them both. Through the act of telling, Roy is forced to confront his own demons, and in seeing the world through Alexandria's eyes, he rediscovers a reason to live. The narrative becomes a bridge between his despair and her hope, a lifeline woven from words and images. In the end, the film suggests that the greatest stories are not the ones that help us escape reality, but the ones that give us the strength to face it. We have journeyed through the sun-drenched wards of a 1920s hospital, explored the far corners of a fantasy world born from pain and innocence, and uncovered the monumental effort it took to bring this vision to the screen. Now, the story continues with you. Every great narrative invites conversation, and this one is no different. We want to know what part of this journey resonated with you the most. Which of the 5 mythic heroes from Roy's tale captured your imagination? Was it the vengeful Black Bandit, the wise Charles Darwin, the explosive Luigi, the powerful Atabenga, or the enigmatic Indian? Each represented a different facet of the human spirit, a different path to justice or ruin. Or perhaps you were more captivated by the dynamic between the story's 2 true protagonists, Roy and Alexandria. What did you think of their complex relationship? A bond built on manipulation that blossoms into a powerful, redemptive friendship. Let us know in the comments below which character's journey you found most compelling, or which of the incredible facts about the film's creation surprised you the most. Your perspective enriches this exploration for everyone. Share your thoughts, and let's continue the conversation about the enduring power of a story well told.